6 players set to leave Manchester United today, but will any of them come back? We're going to talk about that Olise to Manchester United. Could that deal still be on? Could Manchester United be set to hijack Olise to Bayern? There's some news, there's some stories, there's some updates on that. Xerxes. What is the latest on Xerxes? Apparently, he's moving more and more towards United, wants Manchester United. De Ligt apparently wants Manchester United. There's talks going on between Man United and Bayern. Could there be some advancements in the coming days? Kobbie Mainoo for England. What a performance, and some more on the exit front, players leaving United. Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football. Please do hit that like button and of course subscribe down below to the channel if you're new, as we post daily content every single day, keeping you up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news and more. Starting with today's story, an official story, is that 6 players will now leave Man United as free agents. Amrabat because his loan's expelled, Brandon Williams, Tom Heaton, Johnny Evans, Anthony Martial and Raphael Varane. Now the big question is, Johnny Evans and Tom Heaton still may be given a new contract. Amrabat, it's been said that Man United are not going to trigger the option to buy him. Brandon Williams, Man United are going to let him go. He's had some off-the-field issues and he's on high wages, which is fair. Tom Heaton, Manchester United may just give him a new contract for a year as a third goalkeeper because he's English and he can be homegrown as well. And then, of course, Johnny Evans, Manchester United may give him a year extension. However, Man United are waiting to see what happens on the centre-back front. If we sign 2 centre-backs, Johnny Evans probably stays as a coach and not a player. If we only sign 1 centre-back because we're unorganised, Johnny Evans will stay. Martial has obviously left. There's apparently Ten Hag was really frustrated with Martial towards the end of the season because Martial just wanted to get surgery and was more worried about getting injured than playing for United. So he couldn't obviously rotate him with Højlund because Martial knew he'd be leaving at the end of the season, so he didn't want to get injured, which kind of makes sense. And then obviously Raphael Varane. Now I've always said this, I would have given Raphael Varane another year at Manchester United. I think he's a good player. Yes, he's injury prone. Yes, he's on high wages. But I think when you look at the struggles we're getting now, getting a centre back in, I think we could have done with Varane for another year. I'd rather have Varane for another year than Evans, despite Evans being a great person in the dressing room. There was rumours of Varane and Ten Hag maybe not having the best relationship, but I don't really know what the truth is in those rumours, and I don't like to speculate on those rumours. But they are the 6 players leaving United, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Heaton comes back. And I think depending on what happens in the market in terms of centre-backs, in terms of moves, I think Johnny Evans could also come back to United. I'm not complaining about Johnny Evans coming back. He's been good this season when he's played. Like when we signed Johnny Evans, I thought, we're linked to Kim and Jay. We signed Johnny Evans. It was disappointing, but Johnny Evans' character, mentality, you can't dislike the guy. When he came back, he was good when he played, and he's a great character to have in the dressing room and have around the players. But obviously, he's a little bit injury prone. He's a little bit past it. And I know he was good when he played, but ideally, we need to be doing better with Manchester United. Now, talking of doing better, this would be amazing. Man United hijacking the Olise to Bayern Munich deal. It was said by Florian Plettigol, who's very credible when it comes to Bayern Munich news, that Manchester United and many other clubs are trying to hijack Michael Olise's transfer to Bayern Munich. However, his move to Bayern is not currently in jeopardy, as Olise remains clear he wants to join them. So Olise wants to join Bayern. It's not done. There's some issues. So Man United and other clubs are now trying to hijack this deal. Now, Bayern aren't too worried because Olise says he wants to join them, has chosen them. But when you think about it, Man United never showed clear interest in Olise. It was Chelsea, it was Newcastle, it was Bayern he chose between because we had to sort out our finances. Now the June 30th deadline is passing. Now we might be able to sell Sancho and Greenwood, although that seems to be stalling. We're going to talk about that in my live show tomorrow. Potentially there's an opportunity there for maybe United to push for Olise. Maybe there's an opportunity there where we could maybe make a move for Olise, because I think had we really made a move for Olise and pushed for Olise, let's say Greenwood gets sold tonight for some reason, we get 40 million for Greenwood, and we really push and work on that Olise deal, I still think there's a possibility we could turn his head. I think he's very Bayern focused, he's very Bayern bound, and that's what he wants. But it was Newcastle and Chelsea pushing for him. If United pushed the club that he supported as a kid for him, potentially he could change his mind because that deal's not over the line. I expect him to be a Bayern player, but that deal isn't over the line. There is still potential for Olise at Man United. And look, I'd love United to push for this deal. I'd love to see Michael Olise at Manchester United. He's a brilliant player and it's not over. And I'd love to see us make a move and push. I know winger isn't priority. I know we need a centre-back. I know we need a striker. I know we need a midfielder. But a player of Olise's quality, like you don't want to miss out on that. You don't. If there's an opportunity, I'd go for it. But we couldn't make bids earlier on, which is frustrating because we didn't have the funds and we need to sell first. And unfortunately, we're not selling. You see Elliot Anderson go for £35 million. He's not scored a goal for Newcastle, 22-year-old midfielder. You see Minter going for £30+ million, another Newcastle player. But Man United can't get 30 million for Sancho, and Man United can't get 30 million for Greenwood, but Newcastle can get 35 million for these players. We can't get 30 million for any of our players. We can't even get more than 10 million for Wan-Bissaka or 10 million for Lindelof. Man United's ability to sell is really frustrating, and I was hoping Ineos would change that, and there's still time to. They haven't obviously got everyone in, but our inability to sell, to shift off deadwood, isn't necessarily Ineos' fault, because at the end of the day, it's not their fault that Griezmann and Sancho on such high financial packages, it makes them 10 times harder to sell. But it's just so annoying that we can't even make a move for Olise and 2 players are sold, and we can't sell players. And then you see Newcastle selling players for 27, 30, 35 million. You see Newcastle selling players for 30, 35 million that are actually worse than our players. Now, I think Minter and Elliot Anderson are great young players for Newcastle and have good futures, but you look at it and we can't get that for any of our players, and that is frustrating. And I think ultimately, I don't think we'll get Olise, but apparently we're trying to hijack the deal. And if Ineos want to do something that's going to get us off our seat and be like, wow, that was a statement from Ineos, that would be hijacking Olise to Bayern Munich. I mean, Chelsea were dreaming of this deal, and Chelsea are very salty they didn't get Olise, so hijacking this deal would be perfect from United. So let's get into the next story. We're going to talk about Xerxes and De Ligt, 2 deals that are a lot more likely to happen than Olise, in my opinion. Now, it's basically said by a Italian source, Corey Bologna. This is what's been said on Xerxes. Joshua Xerxes is increasingly heading towards Manchester United. Xerxes' departure from Bologna is now certain, and he's ready to join United. An agreement has been reached between the United and the player's agent, Kia, blah, 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 on commissions, and the striker has been convinced about his role in the technical project. Erik ten Hag contacted Xerxes directly to overcome his resistance to the move. So I take this with a pinch of salt, because it's not been said by Ramon Ornstein, it's not been said by Romano, but sources in Italy are saying that Xerxes has chosen United. He will leave Bologna. He's had conversations with Man United and his agent, and that Man United are going to pay the commissions and all of that as well, and that Xerxes has been contacted by Ten Hag. The reports coming out today is that Ten Hag had a conversation with Xerxes, and Xerxes is now open to joining United. Xerxes had his mind set on Milan. He had an agreement set with Milan. But apparently, all of a sudden now, Xerxes, he would be open to joining Manchester United. He is open to the move. And look, I don't know if that's true, because this is coming out from Italian outlets that will be briefed by Xerxes' agent. And I think we have to be really careful with that news, because I don't trust Xerxes' agent. I think he wants the money from Milan and would use Man United to do that. But reportedly, Manchester United have some kind of potential agreement with Xerxes and all of that as well. Guys, please do hit the like button. I do apologise for a little bit of lag if that just came up. And of course, make sure you subscribe down to Man United. Subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, takeover news, and more stories coming in. The next story is about De Ligt. It was said that Man United have made contact with Matthias De Ligt's camp. He's open to joining United, even without Champions League football. Romano has said in the last week, Ugarte and De Ligt are open to joining United, and other sources saying Xerxes is open to joining United. And we've been told that United are ready to make a move for all 3 of those players once they're out of their European competition. So that could be 3 advancements coming in July to cover the 3 main priority positions. So let's wait and see. But I think Xerxes, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. Unless you get Romano Ornstein say Xerxes wants United, I think you have to take it with a pinch of salt, because Xerxes has got a dodgy agent. But we do know from Romano that De Ligt and Ugarte are both open to Man United moves. In terms of other Manchester United news, drama stories, it said that Roma are evaluating the potential signing of Varane and could take steps in the next few days. He looks like he's going to go Como, but other clubs are looking at Varane. He's willing to take a wage cut. Again, I would have kept Varane, because I think De Ligt, injury prone on high wages. Yes, he's younger than Varane, but he's got worse injuries, got similar wages. I would have kept Varane for another year, because De Ligt's off the back of a poor season. But I also think if someone's going to make De Ligt work, it's Ten Hag. There's a technical centre back there. He could work with Martinez. I worry about lack of pace, but he is good in the air. It was also said that Arsenal have been offered Jadon Sancho by Man United reps this summer, and they seek to offload 40 million for the winger. I mean, we must be pretty desperate to get some money for Sancho if we're literally offering him to Arsenal and other rivals. But I think, again, take that story with a pinch of salt. Now, one thing I want to talk about is Kobbie Mainoo. He played 84 minutes versus Slovakia, and I knew that Southgate was going to sub him off. He got 84 minutes. He was brilliant. I don't know how he didn't get any more minutes. I think he should have stayed on the full time, but I guess he's on the yellow card. It just felt like we all knew Southgate was going to take him off, because he was playing well when he was going forward and attacking. But in those 84 minutes, 77 touches, 65 out of 68 passes, 7 passes into the final third, 4 duels won, 2 recoveries won, 1 foul drawn, 1 chance created. England's best performance in midfield has come from Kobbie Mainoo. England have underperformed this tournament. England's midfield has underperformed this tournament, and most of that game was crap. But in that crap game, the one bright spot was Kobbie Mainoo. He did not look out of place in that England side. He's done it for United in an unstable environment, and he's doing it for England. Kobbie Mainoo is a player that can come into an unstable environment and not look the slightest out of place and perform. and put in an absolute shift. And I think England need him because he's able to do it at United in an unstable environment. Of course, he can do it at England when, you know, the tactics isn't there. But he was brilliant versus Slovakia, and I'm so glad he had a good performance, because if Kobbie Mainoo made the slightest mistake or had the slightest slip in performance, the media would be on him, blaming him, going in on him. And I'm so glad he had a great game, and I'm so proud of Kobbie Mainoo. And yeah, the media can't slander him because they want any opportunity to. Guys, that is the end of today's video. It was just a 10-minute update on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and a couple other stories. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.